Coming up on today's show, we have a Salisbury steak recipe that your family's sure to love. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne Dede.
And we have a couple recipes today that I'm sure the viewers are going to be loving. We have a Salisbury steak, and then your sister, my Aunt Mary, submitted a butter pecan salad.
Yes.
So excited about that. If you want to cook along with us, just write down these ingredients and cook along with us. For the Salisbury steak, you're going to need a 10.5 ounce can of French onion soup, 1.5 pounds of ground beef, a half cup of dried breadcrumbs, an egg, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, an 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, a tablespoon of flour, a 1/4 cup of ketchup, 1 to 3 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, and a 1/2 teaspoon of mustard powder, and a 1/4 cup of water.
Yes.
And for the salad, you're going to need 8 ounces of Cool Whip, a large can of chunk pineapple, a 1/2 cup of pecans, a package of butter pecan instant pudding, a cup of miniature marshmallows, a half cup of crushed Heath bars, and we're gonna go from there.
Mix it together and then enjoy.
All right,
Yes.
where are we gonna start today?
Okay, well, we're going to want to put our Salisbury steak on.
Okay.
So I've got my pan here, and I'm just going to put that on low here, and we'll get our hamburger mixed here.
Okay.
So 1.5 pounds of, let's see, what I'm going to do first here, I'm going to put my egg in here, and I want to whip that egg up a little bit so that gets nice. And there, and the pepper and salt.
Okay.
I'm going to put that in here. And then we're only going to put about a 1/3 can of soup in here.
Okay. The rest comes later, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to just put there. That's about a 1/3. And I just want to whisk that a little bit here to get that egg mixed up there. Okay, and we're going to add our 1/2 cup of dried breadcrumbs.
Okay.
And now we're going to add our 1.5 pounds of ground beef.
Okay.
And we're going to just mix that.
Easier just to use your hand.
It is, because then we're going to shape them into patties.
Okay.
So you're going to be using your hands anyway.
Sure.
So we'll just get that all done there. And, you know, just mix till it's pretty well incorporated. But anything like meatloaf, meatballs, you don't want to mix it really a lot. Just so your ingredients are covered in there. And that's kind of why I wanted to make sure that that egg was beaten up and was incorporated well with the other ingredients. So,
Okay.
So what we're going to come do here now, we're going to shape those into about 6 patties. I'm going to turn that up just a little bit so that gets warm or hot, the pan.
Okay.
And just use any skillet there. You're almost making them like hamburger patties, but we're going to just make it oval shape.
Okay.
There, I'm going to put that in there. And it'll start. And a little there. So we should, it says about 6, but it's going to be whatever size you have. And if you have a family and you want to make a 4 and just want to make them a little bit bigger that way,
sure.
Go ahead. So it won't take a long time for that to cook, but it does, take a little bit of a time. And Salisbury steak, I think, is really good.
Yep, and I mean, you can make this, I mean, what you serve it with, can vary too, depending on your tastes and what your family
Absolutely.
likes.
Yep. Okay. Well, we might only, we're going to have about 5, but what? That's going to fit just perfectly in my pan here. So that's gonna make it nice. Look about enough for another?
Sure.
We'll just make it work, won't we? Throw that in there.
Yeah, I think that works out.
Yeah, okay. Now, I always do have dry French onion soup on hand or whatever, but the can has, mixing up the dry, it's just not quite the same as, you know, your canned French soup mix. I still would do that, you know, and not mix up the dry. I thought, oh, that'd be a cheaper way to go, but I wanted to make sure I had really all the flavor of that French
Sure.
onion in there, because that's
When you have
definitely-
liquid in there versus,
Yeah,
you know, you'd
it's
have to
thicker.
add water to your dry packet.
Yeah, so we're gonna just put that on there, let that cook here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna just rinse my hands. And we can get this ready here for once that is, you know, cooked here.
Okay.
We're gonna make a sauce. We're going to add the rest of our onion soup mix, and so you can see that it's just a little bit thicker. It basically is when you're ordering French onion soup in a restaurant.
Sure.
You got that broth that's a little bit thicker. So we have that, and then, whoops, that one's empty.
Yep.
So we're gonna put our tablespoon of flour in here, and then I'm just gonna mix that, incorporate that well.
And that flour is just a thickening agent for,
That, yes.
okay.
So after the hamburger has cooked, we're gonna pour this over there, over on top, and then it's gonna, you know, simmer about, you know, just making sure till it's done, 15, 20 minutes, if that. So
Okay.
we can do that. Okay, that's good. So we're gonna, it asks for a 1/4 cup of water.
Okay.
I'm gonna put that in there. And it says 1 to 3 teaspoons of this stuff.
The Worcestershire.
That's correct. So I'm gonna put 2 in there. I mean, if you want that 3, it just depends upon how strong you like that, but yeah, so, all right. And then we're gonna do a 1/4 cup of ketchup here. Okay. There. We could have really just eyeballed that instead of making this dirty and scraping it out, but
That's okay.
yeah.
You already having to wash that already.
So it does it. And this is something that you definitely can eyeball. It's not like you're making like an angel food cake. You got to be precise with
Right.
everything, so for sure. So we got that in there. And then we'll just get that mixed up there. And then we need about 1/8 teaspoon of dry mustard.
Okay. Gives it a little spice.
That gives it a little sip there. Looks like I need to replenish my jar there pretty quick.
Yes.
So we'll have this all mixed to pour over the hamburger once it's fried. And while you're browning that, in the event that your hamburger is a little bit greasy, you might want to strain that rather than, you know, have the grease in there.
Okay.
So that's going to be it. Now we just need to wait for the stove to cook the hamburger, and we're going to put this, pour that over there and let that simmer. So that's going to be pretty easy. So we're going to
Okay.
just bring that over here. And what I'm going to do is, let's just flip our Salisbury steak over. You know, you just want
Get them
that
nice and
brown.
browned.
Get both sides that way.
And so once we pour the sauce on them, do we cook them uncovered or do we put a cover on them?
It says just simmer for like 15 to 20 minutes. It doesn't say covered.
Okay.
But I think either way, you sure could.
Okay.
And that, but we'll just let that go. And I had sprayed my skillet here just with some
Vegetable oil.
vegetable oil
Yep.
spray, so that I didn't want to add more grease to it.
Sure.
But just so that it doesn't stick and it browns a little bit more.
Yeah, depending on what kind of pan you want, if
Yeah.
you're using a non-stick or...
Yes, so that working well there. And then for this here recipe, we're gonna go, you get the Cool Whip.
Okay.
Okay. Now, one thing, the recipe calls for a package of instant pecan pudding.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever noticed that or looked for it before.
Well, I have looked high and low, did not find any.
Well,
So what we're gonna do is just use vanilla
okay.
pudding, because you're still gonna get that flavor. We got the pecans and Heath bars and all that, but went to all the stores in town, did not find the better butter pecan.
Okay. I don't know that, I mean, I haven't looked for it. So,
Yes.
I mean, if you're not looking for something, it's not there.
Right, and you know, don't think about it. You know, there's the pistachio one, and that was the only one that I had seen that would have, you know, kind of like nuts or whatever in the pistachios. So anyway, we're just gonna resort to vanilla, and that's gonna be just fine.
Okay. So we're using a whole tub of Cool Whip here.
Yes, 8 ounces. I was going to go online and just check to see if there is even butter pecan out there.
Maybe your sister is fibbing to you.
Yeah, something happening. Okay, so we have the Cool Whip, so then we're going to add the pudding. And
Okay.
it's your smaller box, 3.4 ounces, I believe it is.
Okay.
So I have my scissor here. And it says 1 large can of pineapple chunks. Now, I took the tidbits, they're just a little bit smaller than the chunks. I didn't want them quite that big as, you know, some of the pineapple chunks.
Sure.
And you're going to use the juice with this too, because you're, with that pudding in there, you need that liquid in there.
Okay, so you're pouring it all in.
Yes. So we're gonna just get that mixed up well here.
Okay. And this is going to make a pretty generous salad though.
It is. Yeah, it'll go quite a ways. So, you know, when you want that little fruit or something, this is a good one to make, say like in this winter when you don't always have access to the good fresh fruit.
Sure.
You know, so pineapple is always good.
Well, and this doesn't take very long to put together either.
No,
So
Yeah.
for time's sake and everything, this could be a great go-to recipe.
it is. Okay, that looks like that's pretty well mixed there.
Okay.
And then it's a cup of marshmallows.
Okay.
And we have the half cup of Heath bars chopped here, and pecans. And I did just take the pecans and I chopped them a little bit, and instead of having the whole pecan in there.
Sure.
So, you know, you just want to make sure you have a nice big bowl. I really like these quart pictures here for mixing, because you
Well,
have
yeah,
your
you handle.
and you can mix a lot easier, I think, than even just a bowl.
Sure.
So that's my favorite go-to, is those big pitchers like that. So we'll get this, looks like it mixed well. It's
And so
gonna
we
be
just,
great.
you know, it's ready to serve, but obviously chill it until you're ready to serve it also.
That's correct. And if you have any leftovers, you know, you're going to want to, of course, always refrigerate. And you're going to find that with that pudding in there, you know, you're going to be able to keep that for a couple of days because of the pudding. It holds its consistency and doesn't get watery.
Sure.
So I'll have you put that in the fridge.
All right.
And then we'll just come on over here and check our patties here again. I might just flip them over there. And I'm going to turn that burner down a little bit now because we just want that a little bit more simmered.
Okay.
Yeah, so just, and this hamburger is,
And we don't have any grease
No.
in there, so you don't have to
Yes.
drain.
so what we're going to do is I'm going to turn that down and just pour this over there. Now because the skillet is pretty hot, it's going to sizzle a little bit more. There we go. Okay, well, we put that rest of that onion soup mix in here in that flour, and you can already see that that is thickening up, making it a nice gravy.
Yes.
So I'm going to just kind of poke that a little bit in the center and see if,
Have any red left?
yeah, that it's, you know, cooked through without. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to let that go just for a little bit yet here.
Okay.
Because it's still a little pink in there. So we'll let the stovetop do its thing, and then we will be back.
Sounds good.
Country Rose Cafe on East Villard is open for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. Enjoy daily homemade specials, caramel and cinnamon rolls, several different kinds of homemade pies made fresh every day. Country Rose Cafe is also famous for homemade soup, including their ever-popular Nefla served every Tuesday. While you're in, make sure to pick up your Channel 18 Cooking Crave recipes and like us on Facebook for different specials and announcements. Country Rose Cafe, the way a cafe should be, located at 837 East Villard in Dickinson.
Okay. I did choose to cover up the Salisbury steak just to, I think, you know, it just cooks a little faster.
Okay.
And with the gravy there, I did add just about maybe not quite a fourth cup of additional water, because it was getting pretty thick and I wanted it a little more gravy in there. So,
Okay, sounds good.
It looks like that's great. So we're going to take this, bring that over here.
Kind of depends on how you want to do that.
Yeah.
Our cameraman was saying that, you know, this could be something that you put on a burger and just use as a dipping sauce, so you maybe not want to add.
Right, absolutely, for sure. And you know, because there is a little bit of gravy, you're going to want to say, do you want to put it on mashed potatoes? I did make some buttered noodles.
Sure.
We're fond of buttered noodles, and that really makes it quick. Every way the viewers can see how quickly this was put together and made. And then, you know, cooking noodles, you could have your supper put together in half hour.
Sure.
Basically, you know, really. So let's just mix up that butter pecan salad there. And, you know, it's pretty firm, you know, it's or stiff, I should say. So you're going to have, so we're going to just put that on there. I'm just going to go ahead and put a couple of noodles on here and put that Salisbury steak over there.
Okay.
Top of that.
You probably want to get a little ladle or a spoon for the gravy part.
Right. And then I think just putting one on there is enough for the viewers to see. I could do another one if I like here, maybe a little smaller one here. And then just...
Looks great.
Okay. Oh, I think it'll be good.
Absolutely. It smells great and easy recipes, but your family sure to love these.
I have no doubt.
All right. Please submit your recipes for us to cook for the viewing audience. We always love to get those. And join us on Cooking Crave Tuesday evenings and Wednesday afternoons on Consolidated Channel 18.